fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing when you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing, brought to you in part by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven. Raymarine Electronics, Raymarine, simply superior. Pro Sports Boats, tame the water.
Well, it's a nice, fresh winter morning, and we've got an adventure for you today. I'm going to be going out and trying to get some walleye. So the temperature is just above zero. We've had a crazy mild winter, so we're not using any machines to get out on the ice. I'm just going to be walking out, and I'm all set. I've got my lightest portable hut with me. I've got a harness that I can put around my body so I can pull it. I'm going to be going out about maybe a mile, and I'm going to try seeing if I can get some fish. Come on with me. Let's have some winter fun. Oh, we're on the ice. My harness is working great. You can see in the distance all the huts that are out there. I got about, I'm going to say 2 kilometer walk, but we've got good conditions. We have a dusting of snow on the ice that froze, so we got good traction. I was going to wear my cleats. I've got pull-on ones that go over the boots, but these boots are very good. They've got nice stubs under them, so they should be okay. It's snowing lightly, been probably about 29 Fahrenheit. Couple degrees Celsius below zero, so we got good conditions. I tried to pack light, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there, getting set up, and getting ready for the evening bite. I'm about 1/3 of the way out, and I can confirm that it's colder on the ice than it is on land. The walking is good. As you can see, I'm trying to catch my breath. I'll tell you what, this is a great way to get exercise. Okay, I thought I'd just take a break, catch my breath a little bit, and talk about pressure cracks. You can see behind me the darker colored areas on the snow. That's a pressure crack. And even right here beside me, you can see the crack. So these areas can be very dangerous whether you're running on a machine or you're on foot. Let's keep going. Now you might be wondering why I've cut 2 holes. The one hole is the one I'm going to be fishing out of. The second hole, which is just up ahead of me, and it's only about 1.5 inches away from my first one, is going to be for my transducer and fish finder. The reason I'm doing that is so that if I get a fish, if the transducer is set right and it's right at the underneath of the ice edge, I shouldn't have to move it, even if I get a good sized fish. If I have it in the hole that I'm jigging out of, then I have to pull the transducer out of the water. So there's my second one. It really helps to have a ladle. You know, when I was younger, I used to use my bare hands. And I think back now, not so smart. So this is probably going to ice up, but I'd like to get my holes somewhat clean to start off with. And I try to move the ice that's adjacent, especially into the jagged ice that's close to the edge, because as I'm jigging, my line's going to come down on one or the other side of the hole. So if those little chunks and angles freeze, then my line gets caught around it. So this is good to do while you've got water on the ice and before it freezes in. Getting my sonar up and running is my next step. So I've got my holes cut. I kind of picked my location. So we are right here. We're going to be on the first hole, and we don't have a lot of ice. We've got about 4 inches of ice, but that's okay. It's most of it is solid, which is good. First thing I got to do is press OK. And then I'm going to go into the fish finder mode. And let's see how deep the water is. We're in 20 feet, which is perfect. You know, I love this unit because it's extremely accurate. When I lower down my line, and I've got this handy system to keep my rods in, and I'm using the new free fall reels from Rapala. Let me just get one out here. The nice thing is I'm going to show you how accurate this unit is. So this is a 1/4 ounce spoon. This is the free fall reel from 13 Fishing. It's amazing. They call it the Ghost. You can see why, because it's got the colors. I've got 20-pound braid on here. This is the one I'm going to use for walleye, and I'm going to lower it down. The nice thing about these reels is that it's a center pin, so if you just push the trigger, it releases the line. So, and what I found is with heavier spoons, the line can free fall pretty quick. So you have to sometimes slow it down a little bit. You can see how fast it's going down. So you're going to see here in a minute my lure. We've got a little bit of interference from all the bubbles that have gone down. But here is my jigging spoon. I haven't put a minnow on it yet. And in a minute all this blue stuff is going to clear up because they're the bubbles. You see that little yellow mark right there? It's moving up and down with my lure. Let me show you what it is. You're going to be amazed at how accurate this Raymarine is. Okay, so there's my spoon. What you saw, can you see it, is my blood knot. That's how accurate that Raymarine unit is. Very, very accurate. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try this. Actually, I'm going to put a bigger spoon on. So I've got a little box here in my lightweight hut. And I'm going to use the same lure, only in a larger size. So this lure, I don't believe is made anymore. It's called a lil fin, and it's a killer lure for walleye. That's why I like using it. I'm going to put a gold one on. You can see this one is heavier. So it kind of reminds me of the old Swedish pimple, you know, but it's, I don't know that it's lead. I think it's made out of some kind of material, you know, like maybe steel. And then the treble hook that they have on there, you can see it's got a little eye on there. I don't know if that makes any difference, but the hook is just the right size. So I'm going to start with that. And I've got my minnows in a plastic bag. They were in oxygen. Remember this stuff? This is the bait to go. Look at that guy. He was a little younger then. So I remember working with bait to go. So I'm just going to fill this up with water because I'm going to keep the fish in here. And the ones that are in the bag, I'm going to give some fresh water. Start off with, I'm just going to get a few minnows, not all of them out of the bag. I'm going to put them in there. Yeah, that's enough. Now what I'm doing, I'm going to drain some of the water out. And I'm going to give them some fresh water. Because they've been sitting in there. There. I'm not going to give them a lot of water because it's cold out. But I'm going to give them a little bit. Yes, that water is so refreshing. Okay, and I'm just going to do a very simple knot, not tight. And I'm going to leave them on the ice. Because just like keeping worms fresh, minnows will stay fresh if they're colder. Okay, so why is this bait to go so handy? Look, I can pull this up, little tray. I can hang it on the side, and now I can hook my minnow on. So I'm going to take an average size minnow right here. This looks like it's a dace. And I'm going to hook it once through the tail. Come here. And I'm going to hook it once, just up a little bit. Try not to kill it. Okay? So he should have a really nice action when I'm jigging. If you could see the spoon underwater, it really flutters and does all kinds of stuff. So that's going to be my rig. This is going to go back down. And I'm just going to put the top on. So it's going to keep my fish fresh in both of them. And you know what? I'm ready to start fishing. I must tell you, I'm really impressed with this 13 fishing outfit. You know, this rod that I'm using is 27 inches long. You can see that it's got a short butt, which is ideal because when I have my hand on the back, just like this, I can use that trigger that's at the front. This is called the tickle stick, and it's the medium heavy one. It's not too heavy, but what I really like about these rods is that they're pretty solid and stiff to about here. And then I don't know if you can see, the blank actually is flat. So where the tip is, it's actually flat. So this makes it very sensitive. So you can tell if there's something a little bit different going on or if you get a fish to hit. And then of course, when you set the hook, you can see that the main part of the blank has a really good spine. It's just a matter of being patient. I'm fortunate because it's not really cold and I can fish without my gloves on, which is nice. By the way, the gloves that I use, I gotta tell you about these gloves. I love giving tips, you know. These almost look like rubber gloves that you use, at home to wash dishes and stuff. They're Watson gloves and they're XL, but they're waterproof 100%. They're pretty thick plastic, but look at the inside. You see how nice and padded they are? So they're ideal. Even if you clean the ice out of the hole, no problem. Or you're pulling, I find these are much better than using standard gloves. They're waterproof, and that's what you want when you're on the ice, especially if there's water on the ice, like we've had the last couple of days. And you can also use your fingers, no problem, to do whatever you need to do. This is my first year wearing the Stripe Master ice suit, and I'm really impressed with it. It's Ice Force from Rapala. The one thing that I really like, besides it being really comfortable and being very roomy, on the knees they have like a thin foam inside that goes from about here, above the knee, down almost halfway down the leg, which is great when you're kneeling down on the ice. And I do that all the time, when I'm messing around, especially landing a fish, or I got to get close to the water. So having that extra padding is really nice because it keeps you dry and comfortable on your knees. So frustrating when you see them and they move up to your lure and they don't hit it. The fish is about 2 feet off the bottom. Because he's right in the center on the sonar, it tells me that he's right below my lure. Can't get it to hit again. Okay, come on. Yes! All right. Feels like a pretty good fish. You know what? This rod is ideal. I'm fishing in about 20 feet of water. This guy's fighting pretty good. Come on. Are you going to be a nice walleye? Come on. Good fighter. There we go. That's a nice start. Look at how plump that walleye is. And he grabbed that spoon. Man, after having so many fish come up and look at it and grab it, finally one took it. Isn't that a gorgeous fish? Probably going to go about 4 pounds. He qualifies as an eater, but because it's the first one, I'm going to let it go. Here, I'm going to come up and give you a close-up look at this fish. Look, isn't that a nice walleye? Oh, he wants to flop out of my hands. Look at that. Okay, let's have a look at this beauty. Look at it. Isn't that a beautiful walleye? Small head, big body. I don't know if this is a male or a female. It could be a really plump male, or it could be a small female. What a gorgeous fish. Well, you know what? I'm releasing it. Just going to get it back in, and there it goes. Now I just want to show you this lure because it's amazing. This is this little fin, and it produced that fish came in. I had so many fish come in that I saw on the sonar, and they just wouldn't hit. And finally that one grabbed it. Man, you know what? I'm going to rig up and see if I can get another one.